Meat rock, more bang for the buck. Wall Street shoots, your time is up. Meat rowdy, more bang for the buck. Meat rowdy, Wall Street shoots, your time is up. Stack that premium, protect my six ups. I know people that hedge that bend. You rock one brand, the show, make me step. It's the method. Here's the method. Yeah, and wait on permission. I picked up the weight, phone in my hand, really hours, learning to take a rise to patience. No room for excuses. Every choice mattered because the outcome induces. I stopped handing the wheel, the voices I trusted. Took responsibility, that's when it functioned. If it worked, that was earned. If it failed, that was mine. Family in my vision, so I stayed on the grind. This wasn't about hustle or flexing the grind. It was structured with rules. I could win every time. Brody came from method with discipline attached before the people carried the weight. Caddy the weight to me, body. More bang for the buck. Wall Street suits, your time is up. Stack that premium, protect my six ups. I open, but I hedge that risk. Life on plan, every show taking a stand. Is the man. Don't chase green candles. I monetize waiting. Data working daily while they guessing and praying. Premium stacking. Structure over sensation. Volatility. It is 3 o'clock here, 4 o'clock Eastern. Hope everybody's doing super on this Wednesday. YieldMax announcement day, earnings day, hump day, you name it, it is a day. How's everybody doing? We are on stages, which means you have to get invited up. So I'm going to invite people up as they pop in. Please come on up if you'd like to. The more the merrier. We'd love to have it. Everybody and anybody participate in the chat and dialogue today. So let's see. I've got Double D up, and then I've got Amy up. How are y'all? Say hello to me. It's been a while.
What's up?
How are you? Doing good. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been a little busy, but I'm around in the background for sure. How's everybody doing today?
Doing great. 2 green days in a row. Can't complain.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, hopefully it remains, after there's a big speech tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I tweeted out and asked if anybody else, it auto-corrected, but I meant to say, is anybody taking off their options trade before the speech tonight? To see if anybody else was feeling the same way I was.
That's why I like the 0DTE, because I'm done.
Yeah,
whatever he says doesn't matter to me, to my options. But my long portfolio, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Amy, has the 2 green days treated you well?
Absolutely, yes. I'm just, well, actually no, because I was on the phone trying to fix my taxes last night, and it was right around market close, and I wound up having to buy to close my SPY option and lost like $200.
Oh no, I think I saw you post about that on X.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be an adult and do my taxes today, and then the world was like, do you want to lose a couple $100 on your options? I was like, actually no. The last time I checked, it was still not in the money.
What did you have, a call, a put? What did you have on?
I have a SPY leaps, so it's not like I can get assigned. They have to buy to close it. So, it was basically a week's worth of options.
Oh.
Premium that I lost on my SPY. It's the first time this year that I've lost badly on an options trade, so there's that.
Amy says, easy come, easy go, right?
I mean, what am I going to do? Like, just have like a SPY leaps option and not do a 0-day expiration on it anymore?
All right, RoD is in the house too. Are you driving home?
Yep, just got past the student driver, thank God. I was getting ready to scream, but we're good here. How are you?
I am doing so well. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that, my brother. And also, we have a Tesla groupie in the room. Yip. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Excellent. It's Hump Day. You closing out anything early today, or are you going to let it all ride through the speech tonight?
I'm gonna let it ride because everything's looking good, and I'm at work. If it's noisy here, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm at work, so I really didn't get a chance to look at much stuff. So I looked this morning, and my coworkers are making fun of me on the phone. I looked this morning, and my TSLL and TQQQ and SOXL, everything's doing good. So you think we can have 3 green days in a row?
I think a lot will hinge on what he has to say tonight, and then how the market decides that fits into their narrative of what's going on, and whether it adds to their stability or it adds to more confusion. Well, I guess we'll find out after that. And we got a couple big earnings tonight too.
Oh, we do. Who has earnings tonight?
I think, was it Oracle and somebody else? I don't remember it off the top of my head. Double D, do you remember who the big shots are that have earnings tonight? I can look it up. So RD, how are you, and what's going on in your world right now?
Actually, wait, Rod, let me do one thing. No, Grandpa Trades, I see you're on here. Can you go over to me and Rod's server and post this in case people want to join? I appreciate it. I don't know how to do it, or I would do it. I'll end up shut this whole thing down.
You hit copy, you hit paste. That's how you do it. Come on.
I don't know Discord. That's why I have you.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you ask?
I asked what's going on.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
What's news?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at the market much, but I did. I saw it was green. I saw Bitcoin was kind of green, but I'm hearing who's talking.
I just muted. I think Grandpa guy. I muted him.
All right. Yeah. No. I didn't really have to do much today. Actually, I don't think I made any trades today. Did you make any trades today?
I closed out. I do the tasty trades 45 days. Close it out at 21 days to expiration on the XSP. So I had a bunch out there that were would have been closing out next week, but they were all at like 45% profit based on the move over the last 2 days. So I went in and just closed them all out to go ahead and take that profit now, and just wait till after he talks tonight to see if I want to put them back on, or do it just take the profit and run.
Yeah. What's that? 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think 9 o'clock my time, but I think that's 8 o'clock Eastern time. He's going to have all the networks tuned.
Can we mute whoever that is? Can you mute whoever that is? I can't see.
I don't see anybody. Not.
Is it Alan? Or who?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, background. Whoever has background noise, if you could just mute your microphone for now until you talk. But no, it's good now. Wait. Oh, yeah, that was probably it. Yeah, we could hear. It's very gentle. We could hear everything. So if you fart, we can hear that. So you gotta be careful. How you doing? You're loading up on trades, huh, Alan? I don't think I ever got to talk to you.
That's my new thing. So.
Nice. Someone's got to do it, right? It's working out for you, though.
Yeah. I got caught a couple times. You had to learn a couple lessons the hard way, but
yeah.
But overall, yeah, I'm real pleased with it. So I still do some wheeling. And I have some 45 DTE trades too. And I don't know. I think I'm going to, once I finish closing these out the next couple of days, I think I'm going to be done with those for a while.
Yeah. Keep them busy, huh?
Yeah. I got to do, well, I'm retired, so I got to do something with myself.
Oh, yeah, you got time. Play around, learn it.
Mm-hmm.
How many RoDs you got going on? Any?
I've 3 RoDs. I've been tempted to kind of double up on a couple of them, but I have one on Elf, one on SoFi, and then one on Planet Labs. So.
Nice. Yeah. What did SoFi do today? I didn't get a chance to look. Is it?
Well,
Hopefully,
they were red. What? I mean, did you have to ask?
I mean, what the hell? What? And even in the little green we can't get a break on SoFi. It seems.
Yeah. On SoFi, I'm like I'm out until January, so I'm just rolling the call. I'll make my $20 a week or whatever, and
yeah. I got June 2028, so I got time.
Yeah. And then I have Elf, but Elf I have until mid-August to deal with that. So, but
I don't know what happened to Elf. It got beat down pretty bad.
Yeah. So, but I'm pretty close to having at least having my expenses paid off. So
nice.
So and then Planet Labs has been my go-to RoD. I started with Planet Labs wheeling it, and then when I saw you doing the RoD, I figured Planet Lab would be a good one to do a RoD on. So yeah, that's up nice for me on that one. That one I have paid off, and I'm like $8 up, or actually $10 up on that. So
nice. House money. Let's go.
Yep.
Sorry, Ambassador. This is your show. You lead.
Oh gosh, no, I was just enjoying the conversation. I love hearing what other people are doing and how it's going for them. So it was great. I noticed from a little tweet, you got a opening date. Is it today or this weekend?
But yesterday we lost. So yeah. I got some work to do on my team this year. A lot of new first-time players, so got my hands full.
All right. So, anything? Did you ever dive back into any of the high yield funds for into your account, or did you stay off of them for right now?
Yeah. So I finally bought YQQQ. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use that when the market obviously turns around and goes really green. I'll start buying that, average down, just as a somewhat deflection, right? Somewhat hedge to the disaster. I know Amy's heavy on YQQQ. I think it did pretty well for her, but so yeah, again, to get this market, man, it's just I wasn't ready for it, right? It just kind of whooped my ass. So, but outside of that, I'm buying drips and drabs, GDXY, Chippy, T-Spy, because I think I mentioned in a lot of my videos, like my job and work life is it's getting pretty busy. So I'm limiting my options trades to something more manageable. So I'm just going to do like the wheel and TSLL and then the RoD on the indexes. And that's going to be my plan in the future. Everything else will be high yield funds and STRC.
Yeah. So are you still going daily in on STRC or weekly? Are you still adding to that fund?
Oh yeah, my crypto account is $10 Bitcoin, STRC, SATA, ASST, and MSTR. And then I just opened an account on River, found out about River, and I'm doing $10 a day Bitcoin on that too. So
now, are you leaving your Bitcoin on the platform, or are you moving it off into a wallet?
I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's one day maybe I'll look to do this hard wallet thing. and I'll let you know when that day comes because I'm clueless on that. But
You really should, because there's just been so many that have gone under, and they don't give you like a 3-day notice. They just go offline.
And
What do you
that'd be a great episode on the ROC channel.
but I don't get it. Like, again, like people are worried. Like Amy just said, they go under. Who goes under? Like, what is the risk of holding it on Robinhood, or what is the risk of holding it on Coinbase? Right.
So
Well,
when it's
the biggest
hot,
is getting hacked,
and yeah,
and it
I'm sorry,
happens.
what was
Getting hacked. If Robinhood gets hacked, people can steal that money out.
Well, you're actually so we're concerned Robinhood is going to get hacked. I mean, Robinhood treat them like a regular
Possible.
brokerage at this point, right?
So yeah, how they do that is they introduce a coin that has malicious code, and then Robinhood starts to support it, and then they steal whatever they're going to steal. So I think the security is getting better, but still, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto, which is why I have like BTCI and Blocks and YBTC and all of the ETFs, because I don't want to have to deal with the hard wallet all the time.
Ambassador, I noticed you snuck in those lyrics on my song, but I let it go.
Which one?
All right. Not my keys, not my wallet.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's what every BTCer says.
I know. I was going to tell you to take that out, but I was like, let me leave it. Maybe he'll change my mind in the future.
That's the hardcore view, and that's for all the people that have been through every rug pull in history and been through the getting scammed and or having your Bitcoin being parceled out and loaned to others, like it was when Scam Fred went to prison. So you're seeing less and less of that, but there is a possibility. But it's just because it's not federally insured, because it's no different than a brokerage house. The difference is the brokerage house is federally insured.
Yeah, I kind of like pissing the crypto people off on Twitter though for not having a hard wallet though too. That's kind of fun.
It does get under their craw there when that happens.
Yeah, I know Tesla Groupie has a hard stop at 4:30, so
okay.
I'm not sure if she wants to chime in on how BBAI is doing.
Let's get into Tesla Groupie, some of her wheels right now, and let her share some of the stuff, because I want to make sure people have an understanding of how they can follow her, check out what she's doing, and then not shadow trade, but mirror some of the things that she's doing and follow with her success. Tesla Groupie, you want to kind of give us an update of where you're at if people haven't been following you?
Hey, yeah. Mostly I'm wheeling leveraged ETFs for the most part. So I'm trying so hard to get back into TSLL, but I know they've got earnings at the end of April. So I'm being a little more cautious, because I don't know if any of you guys traded or hold EOSE, but it dropped like over 50% after earnings. So I'm in it. So I'm being very, very careful with earnings now, especially in this, heavy market. It's already a little too heavy for me. And then you add earnings. So I'm trying to get back into TSLL slowly. My sweet spot is like $10. So I'm selling a lot of cash secured puts around $10 and $11. I'm very heavy in BBAI right now, hoping that one will take off soon. I've been trading BBAI for like 3 years, and it's not leveraged, but it's super, super volatile. So I'm just waiting for it to take off again. I keep getting assigned early though. So I've got over 11,000 shares right now.
Yeah. So
it's tied up a lot of my money.
And that's rolled down to, what's the price on BBAI right now?
Right now it's like 370. I think it hit this morning, and then we sold off a little bit. So I think it's at like 350. So, it's a cheaper stock, which I kind of like for some of my new traders. Because your max loss is going to be $350. That's if BBAI went to zero, So, I think it's good for beginners, and because it moves so much, it helps beginners see like how volatile a stock can be versus one of the stocks that, doesn't move very much. So I've got a lot of my new traders in that one, and they're kind of getting their ass handed to them right now, which is kind of fun because, they need to learn. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, it's how you learn, because if you've wheeled anything, at some point in time, you got stuck underneath the blanket on price, and how you're going to manage out from underneath there is part of the learning process that somebody can tell you, but until you've managed it yourself and dealt with the emotions and like how much, and should I do a strike below my cost average, all those questions come into play. Maybe you could give us kind of like a broad stroke of how you recommend people to manage when they get caught underneath the blanket like that.
Well, also let me say that, anybody that started trading last year in 2025, that was not the time to learn, because you kind of couldn't go wrong. I mean, anything you were in was going straight up. And so I keep telling people, this is a good time to learn, because this volatility is rough. And even though it's not normal, I don't think every year is going to be this way from now on. It's the best time to learn so that you won't take it for granted when we have another 2025 year where we're just bullish the whole year. You'll appreciate it, not just because I started trading in 2021, bull market. I was like, this is easy. Why isn't everybody doing this? And then 2022 came along and, wiped me out. And it was the best thing that could have ever happened. That's how you learn. So I'm loving this market for beginners right now, just as long as they're not putting too much money in there and, keeping their sizes low, and trading, especially for beginners, either paper trading or trading cheaper stocks like BBAI. But also they need to do their own due diligence as well, because, I've got people going, well, I thought you said BBAI is going to go to $5 and $6. Well, it is. I didn't say April 1st. I do think it'll get there, but it's not going to be today or tomorrow. And after their earnings and some other dilution stuff, it dropped. And that can't be helped. And now you just have to wait. And so it's teaching people patience as well.
Are you selling any calls?
Oh yeah, heavily. Yeah. And I'm teaching over, on my subscription, I'm teaching people how to, if you have a lot of shares, how you can do the math. I mean, it's hard to explain here, but if I've got 11,000 shares and they're at all different cost bases because I was assigned at different times. And what I'm doing is taking lots of those out and bringing the cost bases down by putting that money into some of the other lots. So it's bringing the cost basis up of some of those, but down on these, so I can sell these covered calls aggressively and, bring in a couple of $100 a week on covered calls with no risk. The only risk behind it is me losing my shares, but that's fine. I've got 11,000 shares. If I lose, 300 to 500 and I haven't lost any money in the process, okay, great. And then I'm using that money to bring the average down on my shares. I'm not considering it profit. If I make $100, I'm using that $100 to adjust my cost basis. And so go ahead.
No, I'm saying that brings up the really good question there. So when you have your 1,100 or whatever it is shares, are you looking at that as one singular cost basis, or are you looking at it as multiple cost bases across different groups that you've been assigned?
Well, I do both because I just want people to understand the difference, because, you see traders and people out there going, okay, my cost basis is $5. And then 2 days later, they're like, my cost basis is $3. Well, there's a reason behind that. So I say, okay, my overall cost basis of 11,000 shares is $4, and I believe I'm at like $4.80 now because I was assigned some more yesterday. So I have 11,000 shares at around $4.80. But I'm also keeping them in lots for covered calls. So some of my lots are, $5.50 that I was assigned a while ago. And then some of them are $3.27 that I was assigned more recent. And those are the ones I'm selling the covered calls against, the lower cost shares, so I can, receive decent premium on those for the covered calls. Then when I don't consider collecting premium profit. I don't consider it profit until it's closed. When the position is completely closed, then I say I've made however much money, $50, $100, whatever it is. And then I take that and I am rolling that back into my cost basis to try to bring it down. So, and it's not that I'm not bullish or think that it's going to go up to 5 or 6, but I'd rather lower my cost basis so I can sell covered calls along the way.
Yeah, because your income engine, when you're under the blanket like this, is getting the cost basis to a place where you can have some premium in your covered calls without taking the paper loss and turning it into an actual loss, correct?
Right. Exactly. So I know, like, sometimes when I'm just like saying it like this, it can sound very confusing to especially new traders or people that don't wheel, you know. And so I just try to teach that and just show people how, you know, you're not really stuck in a position unless you are then bearish on the stock. Like, I feel like I am a little bit stuck in EOSE right now because things changed and that can't be helped. But things changed with the stock. I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know it was going to change when I entered the position, but it did. So now I'm actively trying to get out of EOSE by selling covered calls lower than my strike, knowing that if they get called away, I'm going to take a loss, but that's okay. I'm willing to take the risk to start getting out of it so I can use that money for something else.
Sure, because there's some opportunity.
So,
there's some opportunity.
You know, it's.
I'm sorry, I spoke over you. Go ahead.
Exactly. No, that's it. There's opportunity elsewhere that I would rather have that money.
Yes, because there's an opportunity lost or cost loss by having your money tied up in something that you're under the blanket on, that if you utilized it in another wheel or a different strategy, you could increase your velocity of capital there, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Like before I was like, you know, that's fine. I've still got plenty of capital to deploy elsewhere. So I wasn't concerned. Now I don't. I've got a lot of my capital tied up in TSLL, and I bought some TQQQ, which is expensive. I'm up on it, which is great. I got in at 40. So, you know, and all of my TSLL positions, my SOXL position, they're all doing great, but they're not at expiration. And AMDL as well, doing great, but they're not expiring until like next week. So all of my capital is tied up. So I'm like, okay, it's pointless for it to be sitting in EOSE right now when I need it. I could be using it elsewhere. So, and I've waited long enough on EOSE, and it's not really wanting to budge. So it didn't do well, and it's not doing well.
Time to move on. Cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yeah, time to cut it.
And for an options trader, It's kind of like not that trading options is like playing poker, but what you're saying is that if you don't have a stack, then you can't participate. And if you can't participate, you're not earning more money.
Exactly. So it's pointless to sit there and have your capital tied up in a position that you're no longer necessarily bullish on. I mean, EOSE could run and it could do well in the future, but at the time being, it's my biggest. Well, it's a big underperformer. It's not my biggest underperformer because I'm in a lot of crypto related stocks. Those are my largest underperformers. But EOSE is just, one that I was kind of learning about, and then it got bad news. So it's time to start getting out of it.
All right, for those
get some of my capital back.
For those people that are going to be listening or watching this later, please make sure you share your Discord and what you have, so people could join and be a part of what you do if they don't already know.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a subscription over on X, and it's at Tesla Groupie. It's only $4 a month. Like, it's cheap. But I've got over 300 people there, between there and Discord. And so that subscription gives you access to both. And over in my Discord, we've got a channel for each one of the stocks that we trade. And I put all of my trades. And then I also started up YouTube, thanks to RoD. And so I've got a YouTube channel that I kind of go over things there as well. So I'm all over the place. A person that said she'd never be on social media is now all over the place. So
that's right, you are.
Excellent. I'm having fun with it, though.
And are you looking at new a new equity or a new thing to go ahead and start a wheel on as you free up some cash and capital? What's new on your radar?
I mean, just TSLL. I have been waiting. I traded it heavily last year, heavily in the $10 to $12 range and even below. And then I made a killing on it. Like, it made my 2025 the most profitable year ever. And then, I was like, I'm not trading it heavily when it's $23, and then it would drop to 18. I'm like, I'll trade it lightly at 18, but I'm not going to get stuck in shares of TSLL, at $18. So now that it's back in my sweet spot, that's where I want to be. That's where I really want to be. But again, earnings are end of April, so it's kind of holding me back a little bit. But after earnings, if we're still in this $12 range, I'm going all in.
All right, so one last question before we open it up to other people, because I know you have a hard cap. You are predominantly a wheel person. Is there a reason why you haven't branched out into other strategies or other types, put spreads, iron condor, or something else? Is there a reason why you haven't branched out to that?
Well, I work and I own a business. And I feel like I just this past year got my wheel strategy exactly where I want it. My names, exactly the names that I want to trade. And I just don't feel like right now I really need to be. Every time I try to learn something new, I kind of regret it. So if I have something that's working for me, I don't have to stare. I do stare at the market all day, but I don't have to. And, work. So I work, but then I also own the business. So that's two separate things. And now I'm trying to do this YouTube thing. So that's another thing. So, this is just working for me. So as long as it's working, I'm just going to stick to the plan.
That's good advice, meaning honing a skill and having a strategy that works for you, that you understand, that you can execute well without tons of effort. Meaning, what I mean by that is it's not giving you complexes about it. It makes a lot of sense. Would you agree?
Yeah. But I mean, what I would love to do is day trade. I mean, I would love to do it, but I, don't have the time, don't have the patience. So, but I love it. If I could do it and do it well, I would enjoy that a lot.
When you say day trade, you're talking about day trading options or day trading like futures and other things?
No, just options like QQQ or SPY.
Got it.
When I see people do that, to me, it's like magic. I'm like, wow, you can make money doing that, but
well, that is a perfect segue to dividend degenerates. What was your last day trade iron condor, my friend?
Today. I
give
did
us a
two
rundown.
Today, both winners.
Give us a rundown.
Say that again?
Give us a quick rundown.
Sure. I do not enter a trade. Basically, an iron condor is a call spread and a put spread. I do them on SPX. I do not enter a trade until after 10:15 a.m. Let the morning news settle, and then I do a call spread and a put spread. I don't really go by the delta. I go by the expected move, and then I go outside of that. So it's probably an 8 to 10 delta on the sold call and put. And I just, as soon as I get in the trade, I set a 50% profit target on the credit. So if I get $200, I buy it back at $100. Sometimes I'm out in minutes. My first trade today was about 45 minutes. So I did another one, and that was out in about an hour.
Now, when you're using the spread or the expected range, are you going equal distance from where the price is now on your strikes, or is it skewed a little bit based on the market itself?
It usually is an equal price, and I usually do. It depends on the VIX. If the VIX has been elevated, so I do like 1.75 times outside the expected move, so they're really safe. If the VIX is low, I'll just do like 1.5 times outside that. It's usually equal distant, unless the market's the way it's just been down, down, down. I've been really skewing the puts. Because I expected a bounce. I did not expect the bounce we got. And actually, my call spread yesterday got threatened, I had to roll my puts up and then close the call spread for a loss. It was a win.
All right, so you said a lot there. I want to
So,
unpack a couple things. You said the XSP, or are you using the XSP?
no, SPX.
Okay, so and that is a futures contract, right?
It's basically 10 times the S&P. It's not a futures. I think it's just a regular, I think it's just like XSP. It's just 10 times.
Okay, so you're using the regular one then. And what's on your condors?
Yes.
What's your wing spread? So what's the difference on your spreads?
So I do 5 wing widths, which mean my max loss is $500 per contract minus the credit I get. But I've been doing 10 width because you get a little bit more premium, and just the way the market's been, that's working better. Because the VIX did calm a little bit. If it's over 30, I'm doing 5.
Now, you choose that because
I've been doing 10s.
You choose that in that form of the index because of the liquidity, or is there another reason? Because I use the XSP.
And the advantages are the same. The liquidity, it's super liquid at pretty much any strike. It's a 1256 contract, so even though I'm in and out in a few minutes, 60% of the profit is a long-term gain. 40% is a short-term gain. So there's no ordinary income, and they can't be assigned. So, it's cash settled.
I love it, love it. And do you do these every day?
I try to. It depends. I work full time. I'm blessed with I can be in front of my laptop kind of every minute or so of the day. So on days like that, yes. Some days I cannot.
Okay, you did mention that you put in a target with a like a stop for the target so that you get out if you hit your target. Are you also putting in a stop loss?
No. Usually I use Vanquish Trader, which is a prop firm, and then that's an evaluation period. And I did a live trade on that the other day on YouTube, but my actual money account is Robinhood, and you can't do a stop loss and a profit target. So I have a mental stop loss.
And do you have a notification to your phone or something that tells you if you're reaching a certain strike price?
Yes, I set an alert to tell me what, if SPX hits this price, I put it, a little bit closer to my call or my put. And if it hits that, then I'll manage it. Just depends on what the market's doing. I preferably, if it's going up and approaching my calls, then I like to roll the puts, squeeze a little more premium, and then see if it'll come back down. Otherwise, I'll just close the calls for a small loss. I won't let it get to max loss.
So if it's moving towards one of your sides, you then take advantage of that and roll up or down the opposite side that's not getting threatened to gain a little more premium. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's correct. Yep.
And so you add a little more juice in case you wind up having to take a small debit when closing the side that is getting threatened.
Correct.
That sounds interesting. It sounds good. RoD, did you hear all that stuff? Now you have the template, my brother.
Yeah, I'm just buying T-Spy.
Just buying T-Spy and letting them do it for you?
I can't do it. I want to do it, believe me. And when I'm retired, I will do it. I can't. I'm in meetings all day, and if I tried this, I'd probably either get fired or lose a lot of money. One of the two.
And neither would be positive, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But I am jealous, so I plan to, get there at some point. But for now, I'm letting T-Spy do it for me. So.
Okay. With that said, you talked about adding a income fund to your crypto kind of nest so that it would do some of the buying. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, I added Misty to the bunch because at this point, where Bitcoin is, where MSTR is, I feel like there's not much further like down. Of course, I'll say that and it'll tank, but like it's just I just don't see it. I don't see how Bitcoin can go down any further. I know everyone says 40K, but even so, whatever. If that's the bottom, that's fine. But the upside is just so worth it to add Misty to the party to help fund my reoccurring daily buys. Because right now it's just getting funded from my paycheck, right? But I want to start to, it's getting funded from STRC and SATA as well, but Misty can kind of help that a little more, and hopefully at the same time, have some upside with MSTR if and when Bitcoin, turns it up.
So you doing that inside the Robinhood then, and you're having those the distributions from Misty fund into Capital Cash, which then helps offset the daily or weekly purchases.
Yeah, exactly. I'm utilizing the 1,000. You get $1,000 margin for interest free, and then I'm still using some margin because the margin rate is so low that it's so worth it because again, the money, the yield I'm getting on STRC and SATA alone, it's more than double of what Robinhood's going to charge you. So, but eventually the plan is between Misty, SATA, and STRC, that'll be enough income to fund my auto buys. And then as it gets more and more and more, my auto buys can increase from 10 to 20 and so on. And at some point, maybe I'll make enough freaking money that I can enjoy this money, right? But I don't know. Again, it's a kind of a set it and forget it account, really.
Yeah. So in essence, what you've done is you've created a Bitcoin miner that doesn't charge you electricity, and you harvest that volatility to buy or to support your daily and weekly purchases.
Exactly. And then people told me about River, so what I do there is I hold some cash in there, and I set up auto buys there, and that cash earns interest that they reward in Bitcoin. And as long as I set reoccurring buys there, my Bitcoin transaction fee is free. So that's just something else I looked into and set up once I researched it a little.
Now, is River going to allow you ultimately to borrow on your Bitcoin?
They said not yet, because they did respond to my post, even though I didn't tag them, which was pretty cool, I thought. But they did say not yet. So that tells me in the future, hopefully. And I do like the founder said their focus is the United States right now. So then they're not looking to rush, branching out. Their focus is, prioritizing and enhancing what they currently have with the United States app version.
Nice. All right, Amy, I know you're doing some options there too. Are you doing just leaps and just the indexes, or are you doing anything else?
I'm doing SLV, and I actually have a trailing an order for ZSL. So if that rises 10%, I'm going to be in that inverse of SLV, and I'm going to do in the money cover calls on that. Just to get a hedge on my silver, because 30% of my portfolio right now is in inverses, and I'm still 2 times up the S&P 500 today. So something's going on with that.
Are you tempted to sell for some profit there? Or?
No, because I have 100 shares of SLV and then 2 leaps on SLV, so I don't have like a lot to be working with. So, but yeah, I just have my IBIT puts that I've been rolling over every week. So, yeah, I'm pretty straightforward.
And your IBIT puts are strictly to try to generate some cash, or are you looking to get assigned?
I hope to get assigned, but right now the price of Bitcoin's above my puts. So I'm trying to get enough premium to pay my personal loan for my Roth IRA, and I'd rather use money that I get from options premium and from the distributions from my high income ETFs than sell out of the underlyings to fund that.
And you were fairly heavy in gold too. Is it strictly silver now, or are you still both gold and silver?
I got out of GDXY and I still have 250 shares of DY, and I got a Noogie. So I was like, I don't need to be in leveraged anything in this market, honestly. So I still have my leverage trash account, which is turned into like leverage S&P 500 stuff. I started buying TQQQ, but I don't have enough to do options on it yet. But you asked me about gold. When the war happened and gold decided to not be the safe haven asset, I was like, you know what? My portfolio is going down enough, and even if it does recover, gold's not really supposed to outperform the market. So I'd rather put it into something in the NASDAQ 100 that's down right now, but I feel like will outpace the market eventually.
I know you forward think, so let's play a game and have an assumption that within this month of April, things are going to kind of come to a head. Things will be positive. The market will have some continuity and feel like there's a kind of base in and start to do an uptrend again. What are you looking at? What are you focused on if that were to come about?
So I hope that going into the summer, we have a good summer because I need to roll my SPY leaps out. So it would be convenient for me if the entire world could get onto board with that so that I don't lose money on the SPY. But I think as we get closer to the midterm elections, it's going to get really, really dicey. And then we might have a good year at the end, like the very tail end of the year. So I'm just keeping my 0 day to expiration going and rolling forward when I have to, and just getting whatever premium I can get.
So there isn't
I
like
have 30. Yeah.
A market segment or a certain thing you have your eye on that you're saying is going to be the next kind of mover area that you want to be participating with?
No, I'm literally just like, I'm in the NASDAQ 100, I'm in the S&P 500, and I'm in Bitcoin. Everything else can go do whatever it wants to do.
No love for the Russell, huh?
No, I keep getting into it, and I'm like, this is going to be the time for it to shine, and it just keeps going down. I'm like, if I'm going to have something that's going down, I may as well be in YQQQ and SLTY. Yeah, at least those are supposed to go down.
The world, how the world has changed. I remember talking to Amy nearly less than a year ago, but about a year ago, and it was all sketchy high yield degen stuff, and now she's an index gal. It's come full circle, right?
I mean, yeah, in my retirement account, I still have 200 shares of MSTR and one selling puts on MSTR. So I'm not like entirely reformed, but from this time last year, I had a job, and now I have my portfolio. So I'd rather my portfolio not to go down to zero because I don't have like a different option.
I certainly hear that, and we've definitely put out in the universe that Amy needs the SPY to be up so she can roll her leaps from your lips to everybody's ears. With that, I think it's a good transition over to RoD. In your RoDs, you've been bullish on your indexes. Are you still that way?
Let me just say, you're seriously the best host ever, by the way. I know I say that a lot, but you're very good at this.
Agreed.
Quit avoiding the question and go ahead and answer.
Can't take a compliment, huh? All right. Anyway, well, my favorite position is my VIX, but for the indexes, they're kind of hurting me right now. But this little bit of green we got, it helped me enough that I'm back into the income slot for the week on the Qs and IWM. So yeah, they're eventually, yeah, they're a little more expensive on the RoD. Like obviously QQQ is not cheap, even doing, buying it through the RoD, but it's still to me like the best for the RoD, because even if you sell calls, you get stuck in the money. You could, it's so expensive. If you roll it up $1 each week, you'll still get money. You'll still get a credit. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about the indexes. I was for a little bit there. The last 2 days kind of saved my ass a little bit. But the VIX, if you want to get into that kind of raised my spirits a little, because the fact that the market was very fearful, it made my VIX position, very profitable. So.
And I know that you've done a YouTube vid and talked about the VIX, but in case somebody hasn't watched that, we want to make sure they go over and check out the VIX video. But give us a little kind of Reader's Digest version of what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. So the market was up, right, a lot. And I'm clueless when it comes to hedging. I suck at hedging, and I still need to learn how to hedge. So the only thing I found was I looked at the VIX. I said, okay, let me understand this VIX thing that people keep talking about. And the VIX, I kept tracking it. The number was just so low. I don't know if, for those of you that watch my options videos, I was just looking at the VIX. Okay, it's low. The market they feel safe. They're okay. And that at the time it was around like $14, $13, $15. And to be honest, the lowest the VIX really goes historically is 10, and that's rare. So I thought, all right, can I do options on the VIX? And I could. So I decided, because you can't buy the VIX outright, but you can buy leaps on it. So I bought a leap on the VIX for $14. Cost me $800, just one contract, and it went out. You can only go out you can't even go out a full year. You can only go out like 200 something days. But the thought process was, I'll buy a leap.
Did we lose you there?
Sorry, can you still hear me?
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay, sorry, my phone rang and I don't know. It was spam anyway, the bastards. You can still hear me, right? Hello?
Yes, we're here. We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know where it cut off, but so anyway, I bought a leap on the VIX, and I decided, all right, can I sell calls on my leap on the VIX, right? And I could, right? So I've been selling weekly covered calls on the VIX because the VIX went up at the time. It was up to like 16, 17, 18. So I'm like, all right, I spent, $800 on this contract, right, for the leap. So, that's $8 per share basically. So as long as I sell calls, 14 plus 8, right? So 22. If I sell them at 22 or above, even if I get assigned, which I can't get assigned, but even if I get in danger, I'll still be up because I'll have the options premium, and then I'll have, of course, the money from the leap, which will be $8 per share, which offsets the original expense. So anyway, I decided to sell calls at 25, and which was always out of the money until this Iran thing, and then it's been like in the money, which is okay. I'm still making money, and I'm at this point I've made about, I'll say almost $700 in options premium. So I'm, and I have till September until the leap expires. So I'll be in house money probably in 3 weeks, and then everything after that is just income. So between that and anything I'll make on the leap, is just pure profit, right? I don't know if that made sense to anyone, but I'm super pumped about this. Like when the market ever recovers, I'm buying multiple VIX leaps, and I'm doing this again, just in case. Again, anything can happen at any time, So when the VIX goes down to 14, 15, 13, I'm definitely buying a few leaps and just keeping this on the side and for whenever the market decides to turn.
And the VIX is the volatility index, kind of like the fear and greed meter. Is that my understanding?
That's what they say.
And the higher
Yeah, it was as high as like COVID was 60, right? Went up to 60. The housing crisis was maybe almost 100. Like obviously, big events, big bad events, it'll go high. Lately, with this $30, I think was the highest, around 30. So the market is not like really fearful. It's kind of fearful, right? But that's still high. That's high on based on the average, at least from what I've seen. But again, I'm still learning about the VIX. I didn't really know about the VIX until I bought that leap. I never really followed it. It was just one of those things I ignored. I heard all these options nerds talking about the VIX. I'm like, I don't need that crap, right? But then I looked into it. I'm like, hey, let me do options on this thing.
So now you can't get assigned the VIX. So how does it settle? Meaning, you have to cash out if you're in the money, or how does that work?
Well, I haven't let a in the money covered call expire in the money. What I've been doing is rolling it every Tuesday because the options contracts expire every Wednesday morning, which is another weird thing. But that's fine. It keeps me busy on Tuesdays. But yeah, I would assume it would cash settle because it's I guess it's on the European Flex Exchange, right? And it cash settles for that reason. But it just makes my life easier that it's something I don't have to worry about, like not having to worry about assignment, and also the tax treatment. Again, it qualifies for that 1262 tax treatment. So.
And are you planning then to basically just roll that contract when it gets closer to the expiration date so that you continue the leap so that you can write the poor man's covered calls on it?
Yeah, this week it was at 26. I had a covered call at 25. I was in the money. I rolled it. I kept it at 25. I made like 100 something bucks, right? Next week it could be at 30. I'll roll it at 20, keep it at 25. Or it could go as far, it could go as 20. I'll probably keep it at 25. I'll just keep rolling it. But if it goes down to 14 again, a $25 cover call probably not going to be that attractive. But at that point, I'd probably go as low as the $22, low point that I said.
Sure, because that's your cost basis on the leap and where you have it set.
Yeah, exactly. But by that point, I'll have the covered call premium would have paid off the expense of the leap. So in reality, I could really just do what I want at that point anyway.
And if you kind of factored out, because I know you normally do this, if you continue on the same pace through that September, what is your annualized yield going to be on this play?
Well, this week's was 750%. But I mean, overall, when all said and done, yeah, it's going to be, a decent amount, 200-300% probably. It all depends. It depends what happens. Like if the market finally settles down, then I'm not going to be making as much premium. But if the market stays just where it's at, perfect. Yeah, I'll probably be making. Yeah, I don't know. Not 750% when all said and done. Probably around like 300 or something like that.
You put up $800 capital, and if you even only did like $50 a week times 52, that's 2,500. That's close to 3x, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm making like 100 a week right now, but it varies, right? There's low weeks, there's high weeks, and it's not a full year. It's only 200 something days. I forget how many weeks I have left. I did calculate this on my spreadsheet. I forget the numbers, but it's good. I'm good at this point. It's a successful trade, thank goodness, because the rest of my portfolio sucks. So.
Well, you were certainly not alone there, my brother. Certainly not alone. I know that we're coming up against the hour hard cap. Is there anything you want to share with folks? Something coming up, something going on that you want to make sure people know about?
No, I just want to give time to let the other, like Amy and Double D, if they're still here, let them mention their channel and Amy's website.
Perfect. Let's start with ladies first. Amy, you want to kind of let us know about your website, about your YouTube channel, and what you got coming up?
Yes, so I am Bad Financial Decisions on YouTube. I go over my high income theories and my portfolio on there, and my website is YieldMax.com. It is a high income ETF comparison tool and a discoverability tool, and I have almost 300 ETFs that I'm tracking on there, so there's something for everybody there. So if this is, I do my own options, but I like to be in things that, like it keeps it proportionate in my portfolio doing the high income ETFs. So, yeah, YieldMax.com.
Yeah, make sure you go give it a follow. It's an amazing tool. You're shortchanging yourself if you're not using it. There is a free option, but then you can also buy Amy a cup of coffee and or subscribe and do away with any ads that she has on there and others. So highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Just one side note: how's the work coming on the mobile app?
It's ready. I just need to add a login, and that will happen someday. So, I have a surgery in a couple weeks. So when I get back from that, I'll be more on my regular schedule for doing things.
All right. Well, we'll keep you in our minds and prayers for your surgery. Everything, believe everything will be wonderful. Double D, you want to share what you got going on and what you got coming up so people will know?
Yeah, my YouTube is Dividend Degenerates, just like it sounds. I do 5 or 6 videos a week. I am doing one tonight. Actually, I'm going to record it as soon as we get off here, and I'll premiere it at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesdays, we talk about YieldMax. There are some still really good YieldMax funds, and I kind of highlight those. And yeah, so that's it.
And occasionally you do a live trade, right?
Yes. I try to do at least one options video a week. And if I get a lot of Fridays off of work, so I will do a live trade when I'm off from work because I can't trade and do live when I'm at work, obviously. But yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Alan, retired guy, I know you're up on the stage. Thanks for participating today. Anything you want to share with the fine folks out there? Are you there, good sir?
I can hear him. Yeah.
While he's working out his mic, ROD, any last words for the folks?
Alan was talking. I don't know if you could hear him, but
Oh, no, I couldn't hear him. Hold on, let me see if I have him on mute or something. No, I don't have him on mute. I'm having a hard time hearing Alan.
Alan,
I was just going to say that I've learned a lot just from the YouTube folks on here and the Discord that I've been on. That's really elevated my my options trading. So a big thank you to everybody that's up here for helping me out.
It's a community and we help each other out. Alan, thank you so much for participating today. ROD, last word to you, my brother.
last words are thank you, Ambassador. You the man. Always helping out. Don't ask for nothing. Best host ever. So I appreciate it.
Well, those words are way too kind. Let's see, we had somebody invite to speak. Come on up. I think you're invited up. DB, come on up. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share. I think you just have to unmute your mic and go ahead. Are you there? All right, while he's figuring that out, I'm very grateful for everybody's time. Thanks for coming up, Amy, Dividend, Alan, and the folks in the audience tonight. Thank you so much. We did record this. I'll try to get a copy over to RoD shortly. That way he has it to go ahead and upload. If you figured out how to unmute yourself, please do. I'd love to hear from you before we head on out. All right, I am not hearing anything. Is anybody else hearing something?
No, I do have to drop though, but thanks again, and I appreciate it.
No problem. We're going to go ahead and head out unless anybody else has anything. If you do, go ahead and speak up now or forever hold your peace. All right then, folks, thank you so very much. Appreciate your time today. Looking forward to seeing you next time. And until then, pow pow.